Okay, it is time. Annoyingly, Discord literally just went down. Like, I was in the middle of a conversation. I thought my fucking internet just died. But apparently it's a Discord issue, which is lovely because I can't notify anyone the stream's happening. I put it on my Twitter, but I don't know how many of my viewers follow my Twitter. I think a lot of them do, but they may not have seen it. Oh well, who cares? This will be up on YouTube anyway. So I've decided it's finally time to get back into a new Yuri novel, because I haven't read one on stream since like Strawberry Vinegar, and that was like a month ago at least. Let me check. I just need to click a million fucking videos on my homepage to watch later. Holy shit, my Skullgirls lore video was about a month ago. It was ages ago. The 9th of the 10th. It was almost exactly a month ago. No, it's the 10th of the 9th. Really? Hold on. Did I mistake that? Holy shit, no, that was 10th of September. God, that was months ago. That was almost 2 months ago. Christ. I went that long without reading Yuri. I'm going... If I wasn't reading Whispered Words on the way to college every week, I think I'd be going for Yuri Withdraws right now. But enough stalling. This is the Fairy song, which was made by the same person who made Strawberry Vinegar. She apparently has a lot of Yuri visual novels, and I own like half of them because I went on a binge once. It's about a goth girl meeting a knight in the forest and going on a magical adventure, and I think it's going to be fun. Let's get started. Marnie. It's Marnie. I looked up how to pronounce this earlier so I wouldn't have to fucking struggle with pronunciation on streaming here already. Marnie. I can hear my mum calling my name, albeit faintly, above the rumbling of the car's tires and the pounding bass line of Amarv's tattered banners and bloody fangs. But I don't really feel like replying. It's easier to pretend I can't hear her. I'm so not in the mood for a lecture right now. Well, Andrew, don't you have anything to tell her? Like what? Oh, I don't know. Maybe that she should at least dignify me with some sort of response? I know she's going for a rebellious phase, but I'm still her mother. She should be a little more respectful, honestly. Alright. I'll try to talk to her. Hey, Gizmo, are you okay back there? And now Dad's getting on the act too. Great. Dad isn't as neurotic as Mum. She's always on my case, either about my makeup, my homework, the state of my room. But his concerned queries and awful dad jokes are almost as bad as Mum's constant complaints. I dig my buds deep into my ears and sink down into my seat. I think I'd rather be in Midgard, even if it was burnt to the ground. Even if it was burning to the ground than this far. I'd probably be cooler there too. The summer heat is utterly unbearable. I'm afraid I'm gonna get a tan. Not that will ever happen. I don't bronze like Greek goddesses do. I do pink instead. She's just like me for real. Oh, so this is set in Scotland. We get like, the summer's like, it's like nice for like a month or so, and then you get a week or two of unbearable heat, and then it's nice again for a little bit, and then the weather goes back to shitty. It's not a great look. It's so hot anyway. I live in England. It's supposed to rain here every day, summer or winter. Thanks, global warming, I love you too. Oh, for God's sake, take those earbuds out, Marnie. For fuck's sake, every time I look away, I forget how it's pronounced. It's Marnie. I can't hear that awful music from here. You'll deafen yourself if you're not careful. Oh my god, she's adorable! Look at her! Oh my god, a baby! Oh my heart! Oh, I love her so much! Oh, she's so cute! Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Hey, I pull out an earbud and aim a glare at the back of Mom's head. Am and Marth aren't awful. They're very talented. All they do is shout. I don't understand why you're so obsessed with them. You think I'm obsessed? That's rich coming from you. At least I don't blast music around the house at full volume 24/7, unlike you and Valentine Roth. That's different. I can't see my mother's face, but I bet she's blushing. My mom has quite a cool, steely exterior, but she always gets flustered whenever Valentine Roth comes up in conversation. Helena's the same about Proteus? Come to think of it. I think Proteus is a creep myself. He's like, what, 24, 25? Either way, he's way too old to go out with Helena. She's only 16. Yikes. I believe we in the industry call that grooming. I tried to broach this subject with her before, but when I do, she always gets pissy. They're supposed to be friends. I mean, geez, are you concerned about your welfare? I didn't realize that was so uncool. Valentine is a talented musician, and he's a gentleman too. I simply had to support his new single. I wanted to break into the top 10. He deserves it for working so hard. So that's your excuse for listening to Golden Year about 10 million times a day? It wasn't 10 million! It sure felt like it. You had that song on so often I had nightmares about it. Not you too, Andrew. I would appreciate if you didn't take sides. I'm not taking sides, I'm just being honest. Well, don't. You don't know anything about Valentine. And how much do you know about him, Mum? It's not like you've ever met him. For all you know, he could be a psychopath. Probably ridiculous. Of course he's not a psychopath. Been a fan of his since I was a young girl. Marnie, I think I have a better grasp of his character than you do. Sure, whatever. Don't you whatever me, this is important. Important to you, maybe. I yawn and stare at the window, arms folded. Mom always gets like this when she talks about her childhood crush. Her precious Saint Valentine in her eyes. He can do no wrong. Although my mum's 46, she often scours Twitter searching for people who dislike him. Holy shit, she gets in arguments on Twitter. She gets in a fierce 28-character debate about his personality and his music on the regular. Her lifelong dedication to Valentine Roth. It's pretty incredible. But it's also kind of disturbing. I guess you could call it psycho. I guess you could call it pathological. You'd think my mum, being a therapist and all, would be a staunch believer in keeping away from things on the internet that upset you, but apparently not. I hope you haven't been arguing with people on Twitter again, Louis. That isn't good for you. It just makes you angry. Mom's always angry. I mutter this under my breath, hoping the car engine will drown out, but of course. I heard that, Marnie. Fuck me. I'm gonna have to remember to... I've got like goldfish memory, I swear to God. In other news, Discord still isn't up. Mom's ears are razor sharp. Was her sense of hearing honed after listening to the Valentine Roth records on a loop for the last 40 years? The world may never know. Anyway, we're not supposed to be talking about Valentine. I can't say Valentine? I guess it was Valentine? It'd be Valentine if it was an My atrocious lack of... my atrocious spelling skills are coming back to bite me. I said I never need them because I've got spell checkers now. But You know, here I am. Good old 19 years old, almost 20 years old. And I still can't fucking spell shit. I'm tripping up on words in a visual novel. Surely all my teachers were right. Really? That's a first. What a sucking it, Andrew. I love you too. Louise? Louise? Google save me here. Help, I'm fucking useless pronouncing stuff. Alright, lay it on the YouTube.
Louise.
Okay, it's Louise. It's just spelled weird. Unless that's just how Louise is spelled. But I feel Louise is not spelled like that, is it? I'm clearly going mad. I love you too, Louise. And I love you. So, even I sometimes wonder why. Mom sighs and shakes her head. Anyway, we're almost at Fen Chapel. Yippee. Now, I know you're not very happy about spending this week with your grandmother. Goodness me, whatever gave you that impression, my dearest mother? I sat up a little straighter and blinked at Mum, all white eyes and long lashes. If I were black pretty much all the time, I'm good at pulling off the innocent look. My eyes are very blue, my hair is pale blonde. When I was younger, people said I looked just like a doll. She is adorable. I'm tiny too, which is probably why my dad calls me Goodsville. But even my platform boots are enough to disguise how teensy I am. I'm just a teensy little gal. She's just a little gal. Some of the teachers at John Wycliffe's still think I'm 7 in year 7. It's hard being a goth when you look like Disney's Rapunzel in miniature. Don't be smart with me. Fuck. Every time I come to this fucking name. It's Marnie. Her name is Marnie. My god. Be smart with me, Marnie. But I'm not smart, Mum. Miss Partridge made that quite clear in my last report. I almost forgot about that rotten report. I can't believe the things she said. She gives you such a dressing down. My ineptitude at maths is somewhat legendary, yes. I'm so proud of it. You'll be going to sixth form this September. If you get the grades, I hope you'll apply yourself a little more. God, I forgot how weird the English school system is. Not like us Chad Scottish people. Sure, whatever. I shouldn't say that. Let's get back on topic here. I know you don't want to see Iris, Marnie, but I hope you'll be nice to her. You only have one grandmother, and you need to cherish her. And you only have one daughter, and I don't feel very cherished right now. What do you mean by that exactly? Could have taken me on a holiday. You could take me on holiday with you. It's not fair that you and Dad get to swan off to Bordeaux while I'm stuck in Fen Chapel. There's no way to reward me. There's no way to reward me for sitting my GCSEs. I don't know if you deserve a reward. I never once saw you study for your exams. I worked hard in my art portfolio. I worked too hard, if you ask me. You were down in the garden shed until 3 in the morning, flashing your colored paints around. If only you put as much effort into English or maths. Don't talk to me about the M word or I'll choke. Sometimes I wish I could choke you, you cheeky madam. Cheeky madam. Mom, please. Is that something a therapist would say? I'll say whatever I damn well want to my own daughter. You need a bit of discipline. Your dad's too soft on you. So is that why you wouldn't take me on holiday with you? You're trying to punish me? No, of course that isn't it. I've been through this already. Mom sighs and wipes her brow. It's hopelessly hot in the car, even with the windows wound down. I can see my mum's blouse clinging to her back. I booked this holiday so I could support Valentin. He's been performing for the first time since his hip operation, and I want to be there for him. Like he even knows you're alive. He will know I'm alive when I ask him to sign my copy of Golden Rule. So that's why you don't want me around? Or you're afraid I'll cramp your style when you finally meet your childhood crush? Of course not! I imagine it must be hard to elope with the man of your dreams when you've got a moody teenage daughter hanging around. What's poor dad going to do when you're mooing around after Valentine? Aren't you afraid he'll get jealous? Jealous? Me? Not likely. I know I'm not Louise's #1 pick when it comes to men, but she married me and she's stuck with me now. That's a little sad. I'm gonna be real. I doubt she'll let Valentine super off her feet, even if he does happen to propose. My Louise's as faithful as they come. Okay, I'm good. I think I've got a cold, I'm gonna be real. I've been waning in and out of feeling like shit all week. Oh, Discord's back, sweet. Valentine wouldn't be able to sweep her off her feet, not without breaking his back. Isn't that like, isn't he like 200? He's only 73. Oh damn, she's out of my gilfs, huh? Oh, only, she says. Jeez. And I thought Porteous was too old for Helena. He's almost 30 years on you, Mom. He's old enough to be your own father. And I so don't get the appeal. He used to be very handsome when he was younger. I'll have you know. More than Dad. Obviously. Your father's never once but a 10 far from Pessy. Never once but a team far from Pessy. Oh Louise, you wound me. You're just telling the truth. Mom's tone might be snippy, but I know there's not. I know that's not the full sum of her feelings for my father. She's actually pretty sappy deep down. She and Dad are still all over each other 20 years into their marriage. Her love for Valentine Roth notwithstanding. I've walked in on them kissing on the living room couch more than once. I don't know if that's an innuendo or she just. I don't know if that's. Or she just. I don't know. I forgot where I was going with this. Guess the relationship is kind of cute in a way. At least it would be if I wasn't their daughter. What's with the other parents necking? Ugh, thinking about it makes me feel kind of queasy. And I highly doubt Valentine will propose to me. I'll barely get a chance to speak to him. I'll be packing. It'll be packed. His concert sold out in minutes. And if he does? Oh, don't get me started on this. It's not happening. You're not coming on the holiday with us. You had your chance. I did ask if you wanted to come, remember? You said you'd rather stick pins in your eyes than listen to Valentine live. Yeah, well that was before I knew I'd be staying in French after for a week. I'd planned to sleep over at Helena's house while my mom and dad went abroad. But Helena and I have had that falling out over Porteous in the last week of the school term. Like he was even worth it. Can't believe she called off the plan at the last minute. What an awful friend. I was literally just trying to help. Yeah, your friend's being groomed. You should tell someone about that. Helena got all snotty. She said she was old enough to look after herself. And anyway, the age of consent in England is 16 and she's basically an adult. So that means she can do whatever she wants, so why should get lost? It's still grooming. I'm gonna be real. The age of consent is 16 up here too. It's still grooming. It's still creepy. I really don't get what she sees in Porteous. He's a total creep. He may have a car and he might play the guitar, but does that really make up for his weird name? Porteous is a weird ass name. It certainly doesn't make up for the fact that he's in his mid-20s. Yeah, ugh. No, Marnie. Don't give me that. The situation isn't exactly ideal, but you'll have to grin and bear it. I think it'll be good for my mum to have a bit of company. She's not been in the best of ways since Dad passed. You can cheer her up. Me? Cheer Gran up? I think you must have gotten the wrong kid. I'm no Shirley Temple. No, you're more of a Wednesday Addams kind of girl. Mum likes you, though. It's been ages since you last saw her. I think a bit of company is what the doctor ordered. I think Gran needs to see a doctor. Hasn't she been nattering on about fairies since Grandpa died? Dad's fingers tighten around the steering wheel. He sighs. My dad's such a silly, irrelevant kind of man. It's rare to see him down in the dumps like this. Mom's obsession with Valentin Ross makes me laugh. Makes him laugh, but he's uncharacteristically serious when it comes to Gran's declining mental state. I would too. That's his mum. I guess I don't blame him. I was shocked when I saw Gran at Grandpa's funeral last year. She practically withered overnight. I don't know how people can just shrink like that. It was sad. It was kind of scary. Also, it's weird as fuck. Reading a visual novel that's not. I don't want to say written in American because I don't think that really makes much sense. You know what I mean? This is written with a lot more UK slang. It's still English, so it's not fully one-to-one with how the people around here speak. But it's still weird to have it be close. I don't think my mum needs to see a doctor, Gizmo. She's a tough old bird. Her eyes aren't what they used to be, and she's shrunken a little. But you can still get around her house alright. He was desperate to put her in a home. He keeps phoning us about it every other week. Yes, well, we all know what Jim's after, and I doubt he's had our mother's best interest at heart. Dad watches me in the rearview mirror, a sad kind of smile on his face. You don't need to worry, Marnie. Your Gran's fine. I doubt she'll keel over in your company. She's just lonely as all. Who knows, if you spend some time with her, it might help. Maybe. But I'm not so sure. Dad's convinced that Grandma Iris is hunky-dory. He's been pushing this narrative since Grandpa Frank's funeral, but I don't think I believe him. Dad's convinced Uncle Jim wants to oust Gran from her home so he can divide her assets. And he may have a point, but I am a little worried about my Gran. She looked so frail at the funeral, and then there's all our talk about fairies. It doesn't seem right. I don't think it's normal, but I guess that doesn't matter. I mean, it's a little normal. Kinda. Not to get like overly personal, but I remember when one of my papas died, like years and years ago now. My guy got like super obsessed with like Donald Trump having like a mental condition or something, and she asked me to fix her iPad once, and like all of her like YouTube search and stuff were just like stuff about Donald Trump's mental health history. I don't know what that was about, honestly. I never brought it up. I never brought it up, but I think that was weird. I think when stuff like that happens at that age, you just go a little. I mean, my Gran's fine, but I think that was just something weird. I think they all get a bit weird when you get to that age. I'm going to stay with my Gran this week, and in my mother's words, if I don't like it, I'll just have to lump it. If only Helena hadn't blown me off, then this wouldn't have happened. This wouldn't be happening. Yeah, but if Helena hadn't blown you off, you wouldn't get the chance to go have a little magical adventure. Right, that's my keyboard. This probably isn't a charitable thing to think of my best friend, but she's acting like a stupid cow. Pull my earbud back into my right ear and immerse myself anew in the cold, steely, blood-stained world of Amin Amarth. Looks like we'll be at Gran's home in a few minutes, but until then I can always imagine. Right now I want to imagine I'm anywhere other than Fen Chapel. Okay, I highly doubt it exists. But I'm going to check if Fen Chapel's a real place. It'd be help if I could spell it right. Fen Chapel indeed does not exist. Yeah, the only thing is it's a fictional thing. Fictional town made up for the game. Dad pulls into Gran's too long driveway, which seems strangely empty without Grandpa's old Honda. Dad helped Gran sell it off after Grandpa died. She said it reminded her too much of him, and she couldn't bear to look at it any longer. Gran beat up Hyun Hyundai is still there, but I don't think she uses it anymore. Her vision isn't what it used to be, and she can barely grip the steering wheel for trembling, leathery fingers. Old age is pretty depressing. She seemed so healthy before Grandpa died too. After the funeral, she went to pieces. I guess she really did love him. Gran insisted on making Mom and Dad a cup of tea when they dropped me off, and Mum reluctantly agreed, though I know she's anxious. She's tapping her finger against the kitchen table and looking at the clock. I know she's calculating the distance between Fenchapel and Manchester Airport, in her head like a GPS, trying to figure out how much longer it will take to get there. Manchester's a real place, I know that much. Though I do keep forgetting where Manchester. I know a lot of the names of like English and Scottish towns, but I keep forgetting where they are. There's two things I'm bad at. It's spelling and geography. Neither of which are aiding me here. It's a voice crack, God. God forbid anything stop her from seeing her beloved Valentin. For a therapist, my mother sure does worry a lot. Mostly about timekeeping, the housework, and my grades. Recently, Valentin Roth has been pretty high on that list too. I swear, Mum's obsessed. My family chatter idly across their cups of tea. Gran mostly talks about how hard it's been to manage the house since Grandpa's death, but Moira's been such a big help, bless her heart, that she can't imagine how she got along without her. It's all very sad, but I feel vaguely relieved as she rattles through her list of minor grievances. At least she isn't talking about fairies again. Moira's that girl from the council, isn't she? Oh yes. She comes over every week to help me with the shopping, and she does a bit of cleaning too. She really is a sweetheart. Forgot my grandma voice. And that one in a while. Well, that's good. I'm glad Mara's been treating you right, Graham. She's not your Graham. And how's Dad's vegetable garden coming along? Must be about time to dig up those lettuces and potatoes. Oh, that's right. I had so much to do since Frank passed, I forgot about his garden. Old age really is unbearable. Gran holds a trembling hand to her temple, perhaps hoping it will restore some of her hazy, fading memories. Nothing made Frank happier than watering his lettuces. That garden brought him so much joy that it's completely slipped my mind. Hey ho, don't worry about it, Mom. No harm done. Since I'm here, I can always help out with the gardening. That is, if you don't mind. Oh, would you? I'd appreciate it, Andrew, but... Grant glances at Mum. Mum's staring at the clock again, her lips pursed. She doesn't look happy. Then again, she really does. I wouldn't want to keep you. Don't you have a plane to catch? It doesn't set off until 7, Mum. We've got bags of time, isn't that right, Louise? Well, I suppose a small break wouldn't hurt, but... My mother gives my dad a tortured look. I don't want to be late. These tickets were expensive, and Valentin can wait, I'm sure. That guy was important to Dad, and the one who helped him set it up. I can't let all his hard work go to waste. Well, when you put it like that, I suppose you'd better go on then. Mum crosses and recrosses her legs, sighing as she does so. She may be uptight about timekeeping, and anybody can see how anxious she is to get out of Gran's too large kitchen and back to the road, but she isn't heartless. She is a therapist after all. Listening to other people's problems is part of her job. Gran hasn't been coping well since Granddad's death. If it weren't for Moira's help, and if it wasn't for Moira's weekly visits, she's probably in an old person's home, as per Uncle Jim's wishes. This should go without saying, but my grandma really is old. It's strange to think about it, and even stranger to see all of that age hanging off her face. Her grey skin droops as though it were too heavy for her. My earliest memory of my grandma, or of a stern, square-shouldered woman with sharp eyes, her grey hair pulled back into a tight bun. But that woman is worlds apart from the Gran I'm seeing right now. She's deteriorated so much it's almost scary. Go and have your fun in Frank's garden, Andrew. I won't stop you, but don't take too long. I don't want to miss our flight. Right, you are... Gavanna? My dad's grin, rakishly. My dad grins rakishly, like a cheeky Victorian chimney sweep, and doffs an invisible cap in my mother's direction. I don't think real Victorian chimney sweeps were cheap. I'm having a stroke, Christ. I don't think real Victorian chimney sweeps were cheeky though. They were probably too busy dying from burns and suffocation to clown about like my dad. What about you, Gizmo? Do you want to come with? Oh, she's so adorable. Ugh, Dad, do I have to? Well, it'd be listening to your mum's cataloging Valentin Roth's many accomplishments for us on end, won't it? Don't be like that. I got other things other than Valentin, you know. Sure you do, Louise. I do? Mum huffs in the background, but Dad pays her little heed. He grins at me and then says, "So, what about it, Gizmo? I could sure do it with an extra pair of hands. I think the potatoes should be ready to come up, and lettuces, and maybe the cactus. So that's a whole bunch of tomatoes in the greenhouse. Strawberries too. Yo, like the vinegar?" Dad wiggles his eyebrows suggestively. I know how much you love strawberries. Alright, fine, whatever. Push my glass of pink lemonade to one side and get to my feet, stretching. I've been sitting in Gran's kitchen for less than half an hour, but my limbs already feel like they've atrophied. I'll be glad to get out of this stifling atmosphere, if only for a few moments. Being around Gran now is kinda... sad. Her white hair is horribly thin, and the bun she's got it pulled back in hardly helps matters. I can see an alarming amount of bright pink scalp when I stand up. Her body, meanwhile, is just as shrunken. Her cardigan so large it looks like it's swallowing her. I can't bear to be in the kitchen with her another second longer. I'm not a very sentimental person. You see, my grandma reduced to this sorry state hurts way too much. God, the fucking backgrounds are gorgeous. Look at this. Thanks for your help, Gizmo. Couldn't have done it without you. Come off it, Dad. I didn't do anything. I just stood here while you did all the hard work. No, don't sell yourself short. I don't need to, I'm sure enough as it is. Well, I did most of the heavy lifting. You did something even more important. Oh yeah? And what was that? You gave me moral support. My dad reaches out, smiling brightly. I think he means to ruffle my hair with one hand, but he's still wearing Grandpa's old gloves, and they're all smeared over with soil. Hey, Dad. I sidestep his oncoming hand, holding my hands up to protect my hair. Careful, you'll cover me with mud. Oops, sorry about that, Gizmo. Dad grins sheepishly and peels the gloves off his hand. Then he ruffles my head with one of his large, weathered palms. I think I'm about to throw up. I think about throwing him off, but no, I guess he's not doing any harm. I never would have thought you'd care about me getting your hair dirty, though. Aren't you always nagging your mum about dyeing it black? I don't nag. I was just asking. And besides, hair dye and dirt are two completely different things. You mean when one washes out easy and the other doesn't? Ugh, you're so lame, Dad. Thanks, Gizmo. I love you too. My dad draws his hands away and still grinning, and I sigh. Honestly, though, the blonde goth look can live in for it. My dad's affection can be a little overbearing, but he means well by it. As far as dads go, he's pretty chill, which is definitely a good thing. If he scolded me as much as Mum does, I'd go mad. Mum might exist in a semi-constant state of stress, but Dad's laissez-faire attitude helps even things out. Speaking of which, hey Spitz, what's up? I would have put a thing in the Discord saying that I was streaming, but Discord died like immediately. Like a minute or two before stream. Yes, I'm winning. we're reading more Yuri, because who doesn't... You can never have enough lesbians. It's a code I always live by. That's why I know, like, 0 lesbians. Yeah, I've been struggling to get on it. Yeah, I think it's back up now. This one's also about a magical forest. But this one's got a goth girl and a knight girl. So... It's also set in England, and it's kind of jarring, because it uses some UK slang, and I'm not used to reading that in visual novels. So, Dad, would you let me dye my hair? I don't know, if I promoted you on a server I'm on. I prompted you on a server. Server I'm on when I got on. Hell yeah. So, Dad, would you let me dye my hair? Now, Marnie, going through this, you know what your mother would say? This has nothing to do with Mom. This is my hair, and I should be allowed to do what I want with it. You wouldn't care if I dyed it, would you? Not personally, no. I think blonde hair suits you, but black might be more fitting. It certainly matches your foul moods. Oh, please. I roll my eyes and Dad laughs. Sorry, Gizmo. I'm just saying it like I see it. You should know better than this, though. Then what? Even if I said yes, Mum's word is the law. If I gave her permission to dye your hair behind her back, my life wouldn't be worth living. She'd eviscerate me. Guess you have a point. I wind a strand of hair around my index finger, my eyes trained on the plastic box of potatoes by my feet. Potatoes in Grandpa's vegetable garden are so small. I don't know if it was really worth extricating them from the dirt, but at least it gave me an excuse to get out of the kitchen. I wish Mum wouldn't get on my case about everything though. I mean, my hair does belong to me, and I'll be in sixth form soon. It's not like I'm a little kid. But how old is sixth form? How old are you in sixth form? 16 to 18, okay. So like the last 2 years of school. No matter how old you get, you'll still be your kid, Chuck. Is that why you always call me those stupid names? No, I call you these names because I love you, and I'll never stop loving you. Whether you're 16 or 66. At least when I'm 66, I'll be able to do whatever I want with my hair. You think you'll still be goth when you're in your 60s? I don't know. I can try it. I'll tell you that the older you get, the more you start conforming to the status quo. But I guess Led is a good example of the reverse. My dad's older sister Leda is an interesting person. Apparently she used to be very fashion conscious when she was a teenager. Spent a lot of money on clothes. She was always pouring through magazines looking for the latest fashions. She spun around the house in a flimsy see-through negligee. Apparently left quite the impression on my father during his formative years. He's told me on numerous occasions that his mother would scold her and say, "We live in England, not France. And if you want to show off your legs, you should become a..." God. This writer... What the fuck's her name? I remember it's a name I'm horrible at pronouncing. Ebheim? Something like that. Her writing fucking kills me. Like, I don't remember the last time I laughed at a visual novel this much since... I can't really think of the last time I laughed at this hard visual novel. Auntie Leda's fashion stylings now, however, couldn't be further from her cosmopolitan youth. She's in her 50s and still favours voluptuous robes and long, gauzy scarves, paired with so many beaded necklaces and bracelets she clings when she walks like a living wind chime. Her fashion sense isn't the most unusual thing about my aunt, though. There's her obsession with astrology and divination and seances. I'd be Leda's niece, but I don't know half of her wild beliefs. My family doesn't visit her all that often. She's something of an enigma to me. Well, as long as you don't end up like my sister, I'm sure you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I don't believe in fortune telling, and I'm not interested in seeing into distant realms. I knew you had a good head on your shoulders, Gizmo. No matter what your awful math teacher says. Sadly for me, Mum seems to side with Mrs. Partridge. Mum's only hard on you because she loves you. Don't take your lectures to heart. If you're not hard on me at all, does that mean you don't love me? We'll just show our love in different ways is all. Now, since you've been such a wonderful assistant, my dad plucks a ripe, juicy strawberry from the basket on the ground and offers it to me like a magician. Ta-da! It'd be more impressive if I hadn't helped you pick all those 5 minutes ago. But I accept the strawberry all the same, despite my grousing. I think the lectures and the potatoes, which were disappointingly small, my grandfather's strawberries were large and hearty. The skin's bright red and peppered with yellow seeds. Pop the strawberry into my mouth and chew. The fruit bursts between my teeth, flooding my tongue with tart juice. My dad watches on while I eat, smiling gamely. Is that good? Not bad. Wow, what a glowing review. I just can't resist. I'll have to help myself to one too. Don't tell Mom, alright? I won't. Cross my heart. Dad's supposed to be on a diet. Mum tuts if he eats anything that she hasn't factored into his diet plan. And now she isn't here, Dad can do as he pleases. Grinning like a naughty fly, a dad snaffles another strawberry and bites into it. That hits the spot. The strawberries are to die for. He swallows a strawberry, then helps himself to another, and another. I watch him impassively, my lips pursed. You should be careful, there won't be any left for Gran. Oh, right. Right you are. I'll have to stop myself there. Now, we need to bring our spoils back to my mother. Dad looks at the assorted boxes lined up on the ground. There's one box filled with potato, another with lettuces and carrots, and a third of strawberries and blackberries. Do you want to carry the berries, Gizmo? I'm a man, so I can handle these hefty spuds. Potatoes are hardly hefty, Dad. Well, I doubt you'd find taters like these in Tesco, true. But they were grown with love, and that's all that counts, and that has to count for something. Dad stacks the boxes of potato atop the box is filled with lettuce and carrots, then picks them both up, his forehead slick with sweat. Cool wind ruffles my hair, but it does little to dispel the muggy, unpleasant heat. A fly buzzes, setting upon one of the ripe strawberries. I batted away, my eyes had narrowed. It's a nice day, isn't it, Gizmo? That depends on your definition of nice. Such a little vampire. Knowing you, I'd bet you'd prefer if it was dark and gloomy, wouldn't you? I'd prefer if we were anywhere other than Fanchapel. I mean, it seems like a cute little town. I don't get what your problem is. It's not fair that you and Mom get to relax on the sandy beach of Bordeaux. Alright, hold on. It's time to play Ami's favorite game. How the fuck do you pronounce this word? I'm not French.
Bordeaux.
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 Bordeaux. Not fair that your mum get to relax on the sandy beach of Bordeaux for a week while I'm stuck here. Well, I don't know if there'll be much relaxing. Mum is going to try to hunt down Valentin Roth all holiday, I expect. But try to cheer up. I know you don't like Fanchapel very much, but I was born here and I turned out alright. It's a bit dull when you can always go walks in the forest, and your grand's not a bad old sort, really. Can you look on the bright side? Can try, I guess. But I can't promise that I'll succeed. I want to spend the summer holiday in Fanchapel anyway. There's nothing to do here at all. I mean, forest walks sound nice. Wish there was a forest near me. You better make this up to me, Dad. Next summer, can you take me on this holiday summer cool? Like the North Pole? I didn't mean that literally. I may going to Germany though. Maybe Australia. Sweden might not be bad either. That is where Amarith comes from, and like a good 60% of the other bands I listen to on a regular basis. Where does all the best music come from? Scandinavia. Anyway. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Next year, let's all have fun. Let's all have fun together, as a family, without Valence and Roth getting in the way. What do you say? I smile. I can't help it. Her tail is so precious. The baby! I'm not enthused about spending the week in Fanchapel. I'm for it. Far from it, in fact. But it's hard to be grumpy when I'm with Dad. We should come with him. I'd even take Valis and Roth over Fanchapel. This is too depressing for words. Half an hour later, after much griping and anxious clock-checking on Mum's part, my parents eventually depart. Dad gives Grandma a hug and he promises her to come back soon. Then he gets into the car. My mum follows along beside him. I sat on the doorstep and watched them leave, my grandma beside me. Then Dad leans his head out the window, just like a terrier, and calls out to us as he maneuvers the car down that driveway. Bye, Mom. Bye, Marnie. Hope you have a good time. Behave yourselves where we're going, dear. And if I come back and find out you've given your gran a hard time, I'll give you an earful. But you'll scold me no matter what happens. I watch as my parents' car pivots around on the gravel driveway, then trundles out of Grandma's gloomy old home. I watch and watch, my eyes straining against the harsh sunlight as my parents disappear on the horizon. Now it's just me and my grandma. I glance at her. She looks back at me. I'm struck with a sudden, disorientating sense of how very small she is. When I was younger, Grandma used to be taller than me. She isn't anymore, and that's not just because I've grown. She's gotten smaller. Hold on a sec. People always say that you start shrinking when you get old. I always thought they were exaggerating. Is that real? Apparently you can shrink. Apparently it's normal to shrink about 1 inch as you age. Starting around age 40, people can lose up to half of an inch every 10 years over the course of their lifetime. This can mean up to 2 inches of height loss for a woman, up to 1.5 inches for a man. Well, shit. My boots give me a little bit of extra height, but I bet I'd be even bigger than she is without them. Now that's unusual. I'm not used to getting taller than anybody. Not used to being taller than anybody. Oh, Marnie. Gran smiles at me, as though she's only just seen me. You really have grown tall. I guess, yeah. I try to smile, but it feels forced. No one smile as I reach in my eyes. I feel that I've grown taller, and my grandma's just gotten shorter. Maybe that's what happens when you live in an out of the way village like Fanchapel that boasts an impressive population of about 500. Your world view shrinks, and so do you. Grand's life was tied so tightly with Grandpa's that the moment he died, a crucial part of her died too. Now she's starting to fade away. Her old house is like a museum filled with antiques. And I guess that makes her a museum exhibit. Maybe she likes the stuffed animals I once saw. Maybe she's like the stuffed animals I once saw at London's Natural History Museum. I turn my eyes away from the driveway. My parents sure as hell aren't coming back. Pass my eyes over to my grandma's house. Grandma's house, like Gran herself, is somewhat of a relic. It was built in the 1800s or so, and it shows. The mortar around the bricks is cracking, and ivy festoons the interior of the old house like a veil. It's a warm day, but I shiver all the same. Don't really want to spend a night here curled up in one of my grandma's many unused bedrooms. But what choice do I have? What choice did I have? I had a goddamn plan. God, that Red Dead brain rot coming back. My little brother binged it like binge played the whole game like 4 times over quarantine, and I beat it like 1.5 times over quarantine. So we ended up just like quoting Dutch Vanderland and Arthur Morgan at each other, and we both thought it was hilarious. And I've still got some of those quotes up here. My parents are gone now. Nobody else I know is in No one else knows I'm in Fen Chapel. So my parents come to pick me up next Saturday, effectively trapped, treading water like a sim in the swimming pool with the ladder removed. Well, this sucks. The next day. So, what do you think of your porridge, Marnie? My hands aren't what they used to be. I can't stop them shaking for the life of me, but I wanted to treat you to something special. I used to make this porridge for your father all the time when he was sick. Gee, thanks, Gran, but put my porridge to the lip of my spoon. It quivers. You don't need to worry about me. I'm not sick. Not physically, at least. I'm sick of being in Fen Chapel, and that's another matter altogether. That isn't really Gran's fault either. Can't blame her for my mother's unerring 40-year obsession with Valentin Raw. Okay, I need to find out if this is a real person now. They've brought it up so many times. Is it a real person? It would seem not. Well, there are obviously people called that. But obviously not any real musicians. I know you're not, dear, but the porridge should do you some good. I sprinkled it with brown sugar, and it's been topped with a few homegrown strawberries. They weren't brought from any old shop. I know, Gran. I helped Dad pick them yesterday. Then you should be aware of just how yummy they are. Why don't you dig in? You used to love strawberries when you were a little girl. Not a little girl anymore, though. Oh, just don't be daft. You can't be that old. You're what, 13? 14? Wait, 17 next year. 16 then. That's still young compared to me. Yeah. I sigh and slump down in my chair. I don't like being reminded of how young I am. My birthday's the tail end of July, so I turned 16 only a couple of weeks ago. I'm one of the youngest in my school year, as luck would have it. My blonde hair and short stature don't help matters either. I was sick of being treated like the baby of the class. Maybe if I was a little taller, Helena would have listened to my warnings about Porteous. Then again, maybe not. Helena's as stubborn as a mule. Can't wait until I'm 18. Then maybe people will start treating me like an adult. I mumble this plaintively under my breath, more for my own benefit than anyone else's. I don't truly expect my grandmother to overhear me. Gran's hearing, like her vision, is kind of on the fritz lately. She has her own hearing aid. They look like little white kidney beans, but she's always losing them. She'd lose her head if it wasn't screwed onto her shoulders. Maybe she already has. My grandma, however, must have some of her early school mistress days in her just to be an English teacher, because her once alert ears are still able to catch my monotonous murmur. No, dear, I wouldn't be so certain about that. About what? That you'll magically become an adult when you reach 18. Life doesn't work that way. She's fucking right. I'm 19, I still don't feel like an adult. I'm like, ooh, 20, I'm gonna be an adult next year. Well, this year. Like, ooh, shit. Like 20. I'm gonna be an adult. I'm already an adult. I've been an adult for I've been legally an adult for almost 2 years now. I mean, I've been coping hard. But you never truly feel like an adult. You're just a kid who's now expected to act like an adult. The world is a mysterious place after all. You have hardly made its mark in it yet. You still have so much left to learn. You mean about the fairies? I want to retort. The word's already on the tip of my tongue. But I bite them back down. No use being snippy, and I don't want to be a bitch. That's what Helena called me when I told her that maybe, just maybe, going out with a man, not a boy, or even a teenager, a man, about 10 years older than her, could quite possibly be a mistake. Besides, no matter how old you get, you'll always be my cute young granddaughter. Aww. You really were adorable when you were young, Marnie. You had such lovely blonde curls, and your eyes. Are you saying I'm not adorable now? Far from it. My vision's not so good, but even I can see how pretty you've become. It's a shame about all the black, but, well, who am I to say what's fashionable and what isn't? I have no idea. Black is the new black, after all. What was that, dear? Nothing. Look at my clothes contemplatively. To nobody's surprise, at least all of my own, as I am, you know, the one who's dressed myself, I'm wearing black. I started dressing in black when I started secondary school. Thought it might help offset my blonde hair and my blue eyes. I wanted to look fierce. But my school has a rotten uniform, and worse luck, our demure white shirts and grey blazers make me look younger than ever. The world is totally out to get me. I'll never fulfill my dream of looking like... oh fuck. Tetsuya Nomura. Like a Tetsuya Nomura character now. To Google, once again. This game loves making me Google things. Tetsuya Nomura. Japanese game artist and designer. What have you done? It's like your thing. Oh, he designs for Final Fantasy. Okay, yeah, that makes tons of sense. You're just missing a couple belts. All you're missing is a couple belts. Do they have enough belts? See? Do they have enough belts to pull that look off? My hair isn't spiky enough either. I think I've gotten the brooding part down though. Now, why don't you get up your porridge? There's a good girl. You don't need to coax me. I'm not a cat. Or a kid. I know, dear. Forgive an old woman for fussing. I don't want your breakfast going cold. Well, thank you. I dip my spoon into my porridge and bring it to my lips. Blowing it a little. Despite Gran's fussing, it's still plenty hot before I put it in my mouth. Gran watches me, her face alight with earnest interest. So, how is it? Do you like it? So that's sweeter than I like, but it's not bad. Important question for everyone currently watching this. I have to know. Do you prefer your porridge like super milky or like really solid? I personally love like you drown it in the milk. It's so much better that way, in my personal opinion. Don't you like things, Marnie? You always used to raid my biscuit tin when you were younger. Like I said, I'm not a kid. I'm sick of being treated like one too. How strange. Your father loves sweets and he's almost 50. Well, my dad's never been the most mature person. He's always cracking stupid jokes. His favorite recurring stand-up routine is pretending he can't find our car in the car park wherever we go, even if there's only one car there. What a riot. We all have stupid gags. You gotta get down to a stupid gag. I personally have a stupid gag. That is every time me and my brother get home, and he knows I've got the house keys with me. But every time we're approaching the door, I'll look at him like, you got the house keys? Or pretend I don't have it for like a second. I think it's hysterical. And he hates me for it. Continue with my porridge while Gran nods and clucks approvingly. When I finish, Gran nods and says, "Good girl." Like we've accomplished some huge goal. Have expected her to give me a gold star. It's important to eat breakfast every day. You need to keep up your strength. Oh, shit. I must be withering away then. What for? It's not there's anything to do around here. Unless you want me to clean out the Aga. Oh no, don't bother yourself with the housework. That's what Moira's for. You should run off and play. I know Fen Chapel isn't very big, there's a lot to do. You could look around the church or explore the old railway station. Or you could take a picnic to the forest. Doesn't that sound nice? I mean, that does sound great. I'm gonna be real. That sounds fucking great. I'd be totally down for that. Wow, that sounds amazing. Doesn't it just? I love exploring the forest of Frank, who was an avid bird watcher. He taught me how to cry, just like the blue tits. That's better than being... It's better than being a tit, I guess. This time Gran doesn't hear my monotonous remark. Thank goodness. Do you know much about birds, dear? Can't say I do. Well, there's always time to learn. Fen Chapel Forest is rather popular amongst people in the camp, with a keen eye for avians. There's woodpeckers in the spring and cuckoos in the summer. A lot of interesting sights to keep your eyes peeled. Maybe you could take one of Frank's old guides with you. They'll teach you how to identify all sorts of birds. I know this is supposed to be like boring as fuck, but that kind of sounds like I can make a day of that. I'd totally be down for that. Maybe another time, Gran. Are you sure? I'd rather you put his things to good use instead of them getting dusty in his old office. But if you're not interested, I won't push it. Get that picnic lunch prepared for you then, shall I? And he cheese it with strawberries. I also have more with lovely bread to mix it herself, you know. And cheese, maybe some chocolate biscuits. That sounds great. Girl, I don't know what you want from her. That sounds great. Sure, Gran. Whatever you want. Preparing lunch for me will make her happy, I don't mind. I can't pretend I'm all that stoked about wandering around Fen Chapel, but at least it'll be better than seeing through my grandma's too large house slowly suffering. Everything that happens in Fen Chapel is slow. The nearest motorway is miles away, and the nearest city is even further out. To get to Tesco, it takes a good 20 minutes. What a sad, secluded village this is. Little wonder my poor grandmother started to lose it. The forest is about the only interesting thing here, other than the overgrown, disused train station, but... You better be careful in the forest though, Marnie. Ah, here it comes. All kinds of creatures lurk amongst the trees. It is not just talking about the woodpeckers. I've heard things in the forest, Marnie. Things no human could ever be privy to. Are you sure it wasn't an animal? I'm quite certain. I've lived in the countryside all my life and no animal can sing like that, nor speak. That creature that lives in the creatures that live in the forest are far more intelligent than you or I know, and they're not listed in any of Frank's books. Nobody else in Fen Chapel knows about them, but I do. I've heard them. They're as real as the chairs we're sitting on. But how do you know if you've never seen them? I don't need to see them. I've heard them, and that's more than enough. If you wander too far into the woods, you might never come back again. The Fae folk will keep you locked away in the woods, and send a changeling back in your place to assume your name and live your life. A changeling, Gran? I sigh. I've heard her warnings about the Fae folk before, and these so-called changelings are a new one. Where do you keep coming up with all this? Have you been watching too much TV? This is nothing they show on TV. This is the truth that they don't want you to hear. So now we've skipped past fantasy stories and gone to conspiracy theories. Old people seem to love conspiracy theories. I don't know what it is. You guys ever notice that? Like, old people just really love, like, conspiracies. Let's skip past fantasy stories and go into conspiracy theories. I'd ask Gran if she's perused through that side of YouTube lately, but I keep quiet. My grandma might be able to spot a blue tip from my house Martin, but she can't even turn a computer on, let alone use YouTube. She should be safe from all the maniacs online who posit flat earth theories as a real valid science, but... Just be careful, dear. You don't need to believe what I'm saying. Lord knows nobody else does. Wouldn't even believe it myself until last year, poor Frank's death. Gran sighs. Laura says I'm imagining things, and your father says I'm still in shock after Frank's death. But I trust my own judgment, and it's telling me there's strange things afoot in this village. You can scoff all you like, dear. You can dismiss my words as ramblings of an old, lonely woman. It wouldn't bother me as long as you heed my warning. I just want to keep you safe. Now, do as you promise. Now, do you promise you'll be careful? Gran's eyes bore into mine. Her expression is intent and impossibly focused, like the sharpened blade of a knife. I can't look away from her. I don't want to let her down. I don't believe in fairies, but... Okay, I'll come back safe, I promise. Gran might believe in fairies, but I don't. I mean, who would? There's no logical proof, it's ridiculous. Miss Partridge always gets my case by my poor aptitude for math, but I'm not completely stupid. Even if I know fairies are a load of bunk. It'd be kinda nice if my grandma was right though. Fairies really did exist. Might have something in Fenchapel to keep me occupied. Fenchapel is painfully small, boring village. Everybody knows everybody else, and there's only one primary school, a small public library, and a poorly stocked corner shop. I don't really like living in Grimsby, but coming to Fenchapel reminds me of how much worse things are. To Google again, is Grimsby a real place? It is, it's a real town in England. You know how many places names have been dropped actually, now that I think about it. We could probably scope out whereabouts Fenchapel would be if it was real. You've got to be able to see Grimsby and Manchester. They're not too big. Just something to think about, I guess. Grimsby isn't all that nice. It's about as grim as its name suggests, but it's bigger than Fenchapel. At least it's a shopping centre. I wouldn't know what I'd do with myself if I didn't have access to a lush or HMV. Grimsby's one of the closest towns to Fenchapel, but even that's about half an hour down the A1031. So we have a general idea of where it is. Is that a real? Right, now I'm looking at real fucking motorways coming out of Grimsby. I don't think that's a real play. I don't think that's a real thing. Whatever. I just stopped looking at geography. I'm famously horrible at it. I said that earlier. And if you're wondering how I know that, most of the roads in Lincolnshire are memorized. My dad's trusty navigator, and I always read off routes for him on the map. Just me more than his sat-nav, ever since that tried to drive him through a river once on the way to a family get-together. Anyway. Grimsby may be grim. It doesn't help that everything's dirty and smells faintly of fish, but Fenchapel is almost utterly nondescript. It's absolutely nothing to do, and if you want to go back to the civilized world, when you get here, forget it. There aren't any trains, and there are only a couple of buses that run at irregular times over the pitted country roads. If you can't drive, you're stuck here for good. Till my parents come to pick me up next week, I'm basically trapped here. Fenchapel is so closed off with fields and vegetation and trees everywhere. I've always thought it'd make a great setting for a horror movie, or maybe a detective drama. Grant's sense of particular will be perfect, practically laid out like a Cluedo board. It's big, like I said, so there'll be plenty of places for the protective killer to hide, and it even has a billiards room. Fucking billiards room. Billiards again. I know it's a fancy name for something. Billiards. Alright, Bill. Fancy. Grant's house was originally Fenchapel's village hall back in the 1800s or whatever. I don't know precisely how old it is, and parts of it have been rebuilt after it got damaged in a fire around the turn of the century, the last century, I mean. But I think it's a good 200 years old at least. One of the fancy glazed windows in the kitchen even has an inscription scrawled into it by one of the previous owners. This fancy cursive font picked out in the glass reads Elizabeth Bradshaw, 1891. You know a house has history when its graffiti predates both world wars. I guess Grant's house is kind of cool in that respect. If only old walls could speak and share secrets with me. I wouldn't mind having a chat with Elizabeth Bradshaw. Especially if she was around my age. I'm aimlessly meandering around Fenchapel. My aimlessly meandering around Fenchapel has uncovered a depressing lack of young people. I've seen several old men with dogs, and undistinguishable all indistinguishable from another. Maybe I saw that same man on my walk 4 times, Scooby-Doo like, but that's about it. As for the median age of Fenchapel's inhabitants must be 65 at the very least. As Elizabeth's restless spirit is wandering around the ether, would a killer to stop and exchange a few words with this lonely girl? Can't do her that much harm. I mean, she's already dead. Alas, dead people aren't known for getting back up again. This isn't a horror story. It's not a fairy story either. Fenchapel is so boring, it doesn't have any stories, period. I want to set a novel in this place, in a place like this. Ugh, I feel like I've aged 10 years. What if I'm a wrinkly old lady when my parents come pick me up? Is Valen Roth really worth it? Shit, one of the plushies fell. Tandy King, no. I need to... So I made Tandy King, he's got a little origami crown that's helping get the tape. But one of the bits of tape was really shittily placed and it doesn't hold it together, so it bursts open in 2 seconds. And I never got around to fixing it. Every time he falls over, it breaks open. I have to fold it back in on myself. Jeez, now I'm talking to myself. But end up as going just as crazy as Gran if I'm not careful. I place one foot after the other, my arms outstretched as I attempt to keep my balance on the railway tracks. Fenchapel doesn't have a working train station, but it used to. The train connected Louth and Grimsby, and it ran through Fenchapel. Louth is also a real place, isn't it? Yeah, Louth, Town in England. So we've got a canon place where this is. Yeah, so it's somewhere between Louth and Grimsby. I guess the line didn't see much traffic because it was closed shortly after it opened. The station's long since fallen into disrepair. The rusted old train tracks are overgrown with moss. Girl, that's like perfect urban exploring material. What the fuck are you doing? I'd be all over that shit. Walking along these tracks is kind of fun in a way. The trees about me get thicker with each footstep, and it feels like I'm walking into the unknown. But that's just an illusion. I know exactly where these disused lines go. First, it passed by the old station house, then the track gets submused by the forest. The old station house, like the track itself, is half consumed by the woods. It's entirely right side, partially covered by tall green trees. The windows of the station house are all boarded up, but the boards themselves are rotten from the rainfall, and some of them lie on the grass, broken and splintered. Ivy clings to the side of the building, and the roof is peppered with holes. It's a pretty spooky sight if it wasn't superstitious. If I was superstitious like Aunt Leda, I'd say this site radiates mystic energy or something. Atlanta is kind of loopy, and I don't believe in any of that nonsense. I might be a goth, yeah, and I like burning incense in my black bedroom until my sheets smell like Sherwood Forest. But Atlanta can miss me with her so-called spiritual enlightenment. No such thing as ley lines, tarot cards, and tarot cards are totally bogus. And as for palm readings, please. I have no idea what ley lines are supposed to be. The only reason I recognize the name is because of Little Witch Academia. The station is interesting, sure, but I doubt it's harboring any particular secrets. It's a rundown railway track that got shut down decades before I was born. These tracks don't lead anywhere. It's to be expected, really, and Fenchapel escape isn't an option. Don't forget, you're here forever. That'd make a nice slogan for this miserable village. Wonder if it's bringing in any tourists. Not paying attention as I walk, and I place my foot down on the rail at an awkward angle. All of a sudden, a sharp burst of pain flares from my ankle. Motherfucker, you twisted your ankle. Elbozo. Damn it. Body lists to one side and I almost took a tumble. Fortunately, I'm able to regain my footing in the nick of time. My feet aren't on the railway track anymore, though. Now they're back on terra firma. I sigh, brushing a few strands of hair behind my ear. The rail is supposed to be my safety line. The forest floor, boiling lava, or salty water filled with sharks. You take your pick. Per the rules of my own game, I'm long dead. Guess I'm like Elizabeth now. I didn't know being dead would hurt so much. My ankle's killing me. Stupid train track. Hit the track with my good foot, and then what I had. Oh, son of a. My right ankle's smart with twisting. Smart after twisting it like that. I know my left foot is starting to ache too. Elbozo, skill issue. I hope I haven't broken anything. I look at my toe inside my boots. They seem to be working as intended, though I feel unpleasantly numb. I limp away from the train tracks, hoping to put my shame behind me. The trees of Fenchapel Forest close about me, securing me inside a leafy green cocoon. I can hear a few birds twittering, and I wonder if my grandpa would be able to identify these cries if he were here with me. My grandpa isn't here. He's dead, and so is poor Elizabeth, who I never had a chance to know. My ankle's killing me. It feels uncomfortably swollen, and I curse with every step. Maybe I need to rub a dock leaf on it, or is that for nettle stings? I'm not sure, I'm not very familiar with planting trees. It is some leaf you're supposed to... I'm sorry for stopping to Google things every 2 seconds. Yeah, dog leaf is for nettle stings. I remember once on holiday. I was on holiday in England actually. Like years and years and years ago. And I was stung by stinging nettle out in the forest near the little cottage we were staying in. And I stayed inside for like an hour playing my old Xbox and fucking trying not to cry from the pain. While my mum and little brother went off to find some dog leaf in the forest. They eventually found some and brought it back, and it's cured my nettle sting. That's just like I guess. It just reminded me of that. When I get older, I'm going to move to a city. Not a grimy pokey town like Grimsby with the smell of fish, but a real city, towering buildings and huge shopping malls. London would be ideal, but I wouldn't mind Manchester either. I mean, if English cities are anything like Scottish cities, I wouldn't want to live there. They seem horribly depressing places to live. I'll take anywhere so long as it's far away from Fenchapel as possible to be. It's true cities have higher crime rates, but maybe the ever-present, omnipresent threat of being stabbed that's a much-needed excitement to my life. Who am I kidding? I can't even handle a twisted ankle without whining. I guess I'd better sit down for a bit. Wipe a bit of sweat from my brow, then settle down the wicker picnic hamper Brian gave me. I'm not really hungry. It's only a couple of hours since breakfast, and my porridge is still sitting inside my stomach with a lead weight. But at least eating will give me something to do. While I'm at it, I can nurse my throbbing ankle. It's called multitasking, and I'm very adept at it. Go me. I spread Gran's tartan picnic blanket on the forest floor. Not sure how old the blanket is, but it's kind of ratty. Looks a bit threadbare. I wonder if Gran's used to take my dad and my myriad of aunts and uncles on picnics with this ragged blanket when they were kids. This old thing must have seen 3 generations of Wexham family buttocks. That makes this blanket a treasured heirloom. How much would it fetch on the Antique Roadshow? Probably not a lot. I bet Elizabeth's autograph is worth more. But a girl can always imagine. I deposit myself down on the blanket with a dull thud. The hem of my tartan skirt is probably shorter already, and it rucks up about my waist, but I'll pull it back down later. So I pull it back down. Not that it matters. I'm smart enough to wear leggings, and it isn't like there's anybody in the forest who can see a peek at my thigh. Luscious though they are. Just kidding. For the rest of me, they're kind of spindly. Yo, just like me for real. It's gonna tear what I look like the birds. I'm sure the fairies of my grand imagination be tut-tutting my tiny scrap of a skirt. What a shameless hoyden. But I'm pretty good at ignoring the negative whispers. It's even easier when those whispers aren't even real. I dig into the picnic hamper, ready for an early lunch. Food's pretty typical, I guess. It's about what I expected from my grandma. There are cheese sandwiches, a piece of pork pie, a packet of salt and vinegar crisps, my favourite, a Tupperware box full of fresh strawberries. That sounds fucking awesome. I'm not sure if Spoots is still lurking, but if you are, hear me out. We go a picnic in the woods somewhere. I'm pretty sure a town over, or 2 towns over, there's a forest over there somewhere. I know there's a forest within busing distance, and we should totally go there for a picnic. It would be great. Hell yeah. There's even a sealed pot of cream to pour over them, and sugar. Gran really pulled out all the stops. Spooky Woods picnic. Exactly, it would be great. It'd be too cold to do it, but maybe when it warms up again. Or we could just go and bring extra blankets. I remember my lunch from the hamper piece by piece. Now I feel more akin to Mary Poppins, extracting items after item from her enchanted travelling bag. There are a few more items at the very bottom of the hamper, knocking about in the dark. Let's see what we have here. There are 2 apples at the bottom of the hamper, a bottle of Evan water, and a small wooden box. I left the box in the picnic hamper and turn it over in my hands. The Christ. Box is rather small and it feels cold to touch. Bit of smooth wood, though what kind I couldn't tell you. It's sealed with a silvery clamp that shimmers in the sunlight. The surface of the box is decorated with a few carved flowers. It's a simple, understated design. Though it's not quite my style, it is kind of pretty. It was like something you find in a fairy tale. Cough, cough. In the box, the evil stepmother wanted to keep Snow White's heart in. Huh? Did I miss that part? Did I miss that part of the movie? My frown deepens. Doesn't look like something you'd put Scotch eggs in. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say it's a jewellery box. It looks old. Bars are scuffed and some of the carvings are chipped. I wonder how long Gran's had it. I got the box a rattle. Something inside it clinks, a sound barely audible above the chirping birds and whispering trees. Could be a ring inside the box, or a brooch, or maybe a pair of earrings. I don't think they'll really seriously be a human heart, but why'd Gran give me this? If she wanted to give me a gift, she could have waited for a more appropriate time. Stuffing it into my lunch seems kind of weird, but I guess Gran has been pretty weird lately. Maybe this is part of the course for her. Still, this box looks kind of expensive. I wonder if she put it in here by mistake. Part of me wants to slide the box back into the hamper like a nesting Russian doll, out of sight and out of mind. Another, more inquisitive part of me, however, wants to see just what's inside here. Maybe there'll be a real-life fairy trapped in this box. Just kidding. I don't know if I was sick I amended that remark. Maybe it's my own dwindling sanity, or perhaps the leaves on the trees murmur amongst themselves. I didn't know any better. I think they were actually speaking to me. Shiver runs down my spine. I try to suppress it. Something stupid. It's only a silly box. Just open it. And so I do. Press the silver clasp, which clicks open with unexpected ease. Then I push open the wooden lid. I'm not sure what I find inside exactly, but it's a necklace. Oh, I see. Inside the box. In the end, it's more or less what I expected. Piece of jewelry, though it's nothing as fancy as a brooch or a pair of earrings. Instead, it's a necklace. Contrary to the decorative box, the necklace itself is disappointingly plain. It's kind of like a rock on a stick. Well, rock on a string, rather. It's not made of gold or silver, and I can't see any precious stones, or even semi-precious ones. My inner magpie is disappointed. She's so real for that. The necklace is comprised of a braided leather cord, which is muddy, dun brown. A circular stone hangs from the cord with a hole carved in the middle. Maybe this is like a protection with like ward or something. It looks like a grey donut. Guess it's kind of pretty, but why did Gran give this to me? Search about in the corners of my picnic camper, hoping for some kind of explanation. Luckily, it isn't long before I unearth the final piece of the puzzle. A letter. I draw the letter from the box. My name is written on the envelope in my grandmother's hand. I open the envelope and slide out the letter, my eyes darting over Gran's spidery cursive. Her letters are tremendous. Her letters are tremulous and hard to pick out, but I think I understand the general gist. So this necklace is some kind of family heirloom. No wonder its box looks so beaten up. It's meant to protect its wearer from evil spirits, huh? I fucking called it! I called it! Protection charm. This necklace isn't my style, but there's something kind of cool about it. It looks like something a druid might wear. I don't believe for a second it has any mystical powers, but I'm sure Gran means well. I'm touched that she cares about me so much. Well, since she's given it to me, I might as well keep hold of it. Put the necklace in my pocket. Though it's only a small, light thing, it somehow feels oddly oppressive. Is it just my imagination, or do the rustling trees about me sound even louder than before? Right, I want to continue. My throat is killing me doing all these voices for an hour and a half. So I'm going to save here. And we shall pick this up at some point. I think usually, when I'm not doing Yuri novels, I usually only stream a couple hours. I only stream like once a week. I've been trying twice a week, but I've not had the best luck with it so far. But since I've started a Yuri novel, I think I'll start streaming more to get through it. I think I'll stream Wednesday if I can help it. Friday if not. I'll announce on my Twitter and Discord when I can, but this will be all for today. Bye!